Mr Chairman, members, guests, good morning. May I start by offering my condolences to the family, friends and colleagues of Councillor Mark Sugden. I echo Canon Peter's words of peace and comfort to his family. And events like this always put into sharp focus everything we do here and what is really important. Secondly, may I offer my congratulations to the new chairman and the new vice chairman, and of course the outgoing chairman. And thirdly, I also want to offer my warm thanks and support to our officers. Your lives have not been made easier by the decisions of this council of late, and a great deal of uncertainty has been injected into your personal lives. And my comments to follow are in no way a denigration of officers, and I condemn any suggestion by the leader that any critique of him, his cabinet, his colleagues in Parliament, or the previous 15 years of his party's government and its cuts are an attack on you. They are not. And I'll be honest with you all, I wasn't entirely sure what tone I should take today. Normally annual meetings are fairly civil affairs after all, after the cut and thrust of an election. But under the circumstances of LGR, and of course a fair few members of the room just having a lecture from the chair, which I will generously take as a certain sense of humour on this occasion, I agree with you, Mr Chairman, that proper application of the Constitution in this chamber is fundamental. In the light of not a single person here having a mandate from the electorate at county level, I urge those, especially who were not intending to stand, or who knew had they faced the electorate they would almost certainly not be here, to perhaps dial down the self-congratulatory tone of an annual meeting that we would normally expect. And in that vein, I'm now going to try and bring us back to issues that impact residents. 3 residents over the last 7 days put this into perspective for me, and I'd be willing to bet that most of you in this room have had a version of a meeting that I have had with these sorts of residents. I know I normally do every week. My first resident is a parent of a child with special needs. Despite this council and the leader's constant refrain of no child left behind, you might be surprised to find out that, shockingly, her child has been left behind. A panel met and removed her alternative educational provision for her child, a need established in his EHCP, provided no alternatives and did not communicate the reasons for this. Over 2 hours of a co-production meeting, going round in circles and the parent no closer to stable solution or even solid answers, exposed to the possibility of her son not being in the environment that he needs and all of his medical professionals assert he requires, and all the consequences of that, or as a single mother somehow finding over £12,000 to cover it herself while she goes through the appeal process.
Excuse me, Councillor Follis, can I just halt you for a sec?
Can I? Why?
Can I say in the nicest possible way to those in front of me,
Will you stop
please,
the timer, please?
Yes, sorry, we will of course have the timing. Please, could people respect Councillor Follows? Because it's quite difficult to hear what he says with the grumbling undertone which is sort of floating across the dais at us. Sorry.
Thank you very much for your intervention, Mr Chairman. I greatly appreciate that, actually. And if I could perhaps go back to about 3:45 on the clock, that would be about right.
I'm sure 3:45 is fine.
Thank you. I know all of you have had meetings like this, and it's a comfort to know that the administration are now confident they're doing the right thing. But of course they are also structurally refusing, up until it seems this morning from the leader's announcement, to engage with elected members of Parliament on the subject too. Councillors and MPs, as the leader has stated, are not spreading misinformation, but merely putting the spotlight on information from parents in this county. Lib Dem MPs, taking the lead on this as they have done for years outside of this county, but now within this county, now we have some, are concerned about this. But now clearly Conservative MPs are too, having finally realised that SCC might actually be part of the issue here and are getting the same response. Rather than, of course, no child being left behind, don't ask, don't tell seems to be the tagline that perhaps we should be using here. My second resident also borders cliché at this point, pothole repairs on his road. 4 large ones, an unannounced late night visit, with the whole road really appreciated that, of course, to deal with 3 of them, not 4, with a large part of the work already disintegrated within a few days. I was able at least to give him some comfort that the county wasn't picking on him or indeed me specifically, because of course we see this issue county-wide, and we're likely to continue to see it county-wide as maintenance budgets continue to be cut and cut and cut. Policies that I'm actually now starting to believe might in fact be a more general aim to bank up costs and issues for the new unitary, and so that the county doesn't in fact have to deal with it, and of course can then wash their hands after it in 2 years. It was also reassuring to learn this week 2 other things. 8 roadside rangers teams will be around to beautify the county over the summer and make it look pretty, funded of course from the maintenance pot to do the work that should have already been done from money that was already allocated to do it, but I'm sure with lots of comms to go with it this time, so everybody knows that this happened. I, of course, as a town council, already have to allocate funds to do many things that the county doesn't actually do that it should, from everything from grounds maintenance to youth services. Now, my third resident came to speak to me about a topic we all know and love, local government reorganisation. And I joined the other opposition leaders here in writing to the Minister explaining some of the issues with the county bid, and obviously joined the 9 boroughs in supporting the 3 unitary bid with 3 divisional councillors, which was attempting to at least try and make local government as local as possible. I also believe fundamentally the county has left the door open with its financial arguments to a single unitary, which we all may come to regret. This resident was extremely angry there'd been no elections, angrier still that the county had triggered this process 5 months before the expiration of their mandate, and was worried what the county debt, Woking's debt, Spelthorne's debt would do to discretionary services and would do to services in areas like Waverley, where council funding had been well managed, and we could actually still run all these things. I told him that the government and the county have made it clear also that they would not be consulting with residents, because of course the government are going to pick which stakeholders they want to engage, and we know for sure that one of those stakeholders will not be residents. I cannot stress how much damage many of you in this room have done to trust in the democratic process in this county, and I suspect there are certain genies that will be now very difficult to put back in the bottle, as you will have seen in, for example, Kent. And finally, I want to end with a plea to all of you in unparished areas to investigate setting up towns and parish councils now. The county's proposals for unelected community boards made up of worthies of their or the unitary's choices, possibly in fact in conflict with your elected town or parish council, is something that you in unparished areas need to think about dealing with now. Those of us in areas that are parished are trying to make sure our town and parish councils are strong and resilient to the challenges that are facing them, and make sure they are well prepared with assets and money to do that. Now, I urge the administration and the leader here, and I'll be finishing now, Mr. Chairman, that every single day over the next 2 years that follow, you might be here still. You may have even convinced the government to make it legal, but you have no mandate from the people of Surrey to govern whatsoever.